Joining us now here at the table, Erica
We
Jedynak
didn't
of
get you
Boontown,
coffee.
New Jersey. You need some Java. Boonton, New Jersey. Yeah. Thank you for joining us here this morning at the table here at the Sunrise Diner. We want to talk a little bit about an issue that's really important to you and your family. We're talking about this something that people may not be aware of, but you're involved now in a class action lawsuit. It goes back to 2023, and it pertains here in New Jersey. I want to ask you if other states do this, but this is challenging the state's policy of drawing blood from newborns. You're claiming that this is done without parental consent, and that these blood spots that they use to check for diseases in newborns is actually held for many years. And I'm not sure people are even aware of that. First of all, Erica, what's the status with this legal case that's working through the courts?
Yes. So we actually got a decision just a few weeks ago. And long story short, the judge decided that we do not have possessory interest of our kids' blood. Very unfortunate. However, the judge also said that the case is not moot and we are able to continue. So we're evaluating our options of what comes next, but it's extremely disappointing, not just for myself, but for the thousands of parents around the state of New Jersey, that our child's blood is taken at birth, goes into a creepy state database, and then no one even knows about it until pretty recently. There's been a little bit of trickle of news, but extremely concerning. And the state is also considering moving forward with genome mapping of the blood without any parental consent.
So, Erica, help us understand what is so concerning about this, because the way the state says it is that they take this little blood drop from your baby's heel when they're born. Many of us parents kind of vaguely remember this in our baby haze, and they're checking for diseases, which sounds fine.
Yes.
So the fact that they have this little drop of your baby's blood, why does that concern you? What could happen with that drop of blood?
Sure. So we are not challenging the actual health screening that happens initially at birth, although I personally believe parents should be able to consent to that as well. But the issue is that the state has been keeping this blood, and prior to our lawsuit, for 23 years in a database. And the state has allowed law enforcement to access the database without a warrant, without judicial process. We're also concerned that the blood is going to be used for other things. Again, there's been public notice that the State Department of Health is interested in genome mapping the blood. In other states, we've seen that it's been sold for pharmaceutical research. So this is my son's genetic information. This is very unique to him. This is very personal. It should be private. It should not be up to the state government to do as what they wish without even letting parents know about it.
Are other states doing the same? Are they keeping these blood spots? Do you know?
Yeah, so all 50 states do the health screening, but it's really a mixed bag. So some states actually will just return the blood spots to parents after the 2-3 weeks after the health screening. That's pretty rational and I think even potentially normal. But our state is very extreme in that they were keeping it for 23 years. The state has voluntarily moved that to 2 years.
And they've started destroying some of the spots that they had held on to for more than 20 years.
Correct.
But not all have been destroyed yet.
Correct. And there's actually no laws or regulations around this. So we don't even know. There's no restrictions. Anything can really happen to this. There's no accountability.
So what happens next for you all in your lawsuit?
Yeah, so we are still chatting with our attorneys about how to handle this decision that just came down a couple weeks ago. It is a class action lawsuit, so it's myself, my husband, Pastor Lavalio out of Mercer County, and then obviously the class represents thousands of other parents. So we're really considering next steps, given that this was a pretty disappointing decision, and how we can move forward, because it's a Fourth Amendment case. It's a legal search and seizure. And this is genetic information. It's privacy. It's really at the end of the day.
And when this started, more than 20, when they started doing this, perhaps the technology wasn't quite as advanced in terms of what they could do with these spots. So perhaps wasn't as controversial at the time. Am I on base on that?
Absolutely correct. Yeah. I think medicine will advance quite a bit just in the next couple years. And not to mention just on, the lack of awareness from parents. It's crazy to me that the state has this creepy database, doesn't even tell parents. I mean, I was in labor for 26 hours, had an emergency C-section, declined it, and they just say, well, there's nothing you can do about it. Sorry. What am I going to do?
Hmm. Yeah, I really appreciate Erica bringing this to everybody's attention because I didn't know anything about this.
Neither did
And
I.
I thought that to her point, one of the interesting things is there is a case in New Jersey where the state police used the DNA from this drop of blood to charge the baby's father with a crime. So I think that we are at the point where awareness would be good about this.
Thanks for joining us. We appreciate you being here this morning.
Thank you for having me.